Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and this is my first impressions look on the Under Armour Curry Spawn Flotro. So this shoe retails for, so this specific shoe, this colorway retails for 140 bucks. This is the Tough Crowd collab with Brandon Jennings label, and the regular shoe, the regular Spawn Flotro retails for 130 bucks, which is a very good price because if you look at the actual pricing with like basically all the shoes that use flow, the Curry 11, you know, Curry's signature shoe is 160 bucks, which is pretty dang expensive, but it's not that much different from the other Curry like Flotros, right? So for example, the Curry 4 low Flotro, the Curry 2 low Flotro, the Curry 1 low Flotro, all retail for 130 bucks, same price as the regular Spawn Flotro, right? And if you guys remember the OG anatomic spawns, dude, the anatomic spawns were a good time. Those were amazing. You guys remember the clutch fit drives? You guys remember that shoe with the micro G? They both use micro G. So Curry would wear the anatomic spawn and then the clutch fit drive, and of course he got a signature shoe, which was the Curry 1, and the Curry 1 had a very similar outsole slash midsole with the clutch fit drive, you know. But anyways, yeah, those were good times. But yeah, this is the Flotro version of the actual anatomic spawn. That's why they're calling it the Spawn Flotro, which is pretty cool. And also Steph Curry has been rocking this shoe recently. He hasn't really been playing the Curry 11s. He's been playing with the Spawn Flotro, which is weird, but it's called the Curry Spawn Flotro. You know, all the colorways say that, so I guess it's his shoe. And also it has this new logo right here, but also on the box it has this old and new logo, which is pretty cool. But anyways, if you guys do want to cop it, try to leave in the free link in the description box. But let's get it started off with the Tracciones, and yeah, we got flow. And as you guys all know, flow is really nice if you're playing on a clean court. I mean, every single shoe that has flow has performed pretty much exactly the same, so there's not really much of a difference, which of course is a good thing, you know, for consistency. The customer knows what they're getting into once they buy the shoe. They know they're gonna have really good traction, of course, right? Same thing with the Curry 11, right? And same thing with the Curry 4 low Flotro and all the other Flotros and all the other shoes that have flow, like the UA Flow Future X and all that, you know. But yeah, okay, so they did change up the pattern a little bit though, just a tiny bit, but it's still very similar. And yes, of course, you're gonna have the hardest stop ever on a clean court. Like flow just bites instantly. You just stop instantly on a clean court. It almost bites a little bit too hard, and I've had instances where I just trip because the grip is too good, you know what I mean? So yeah, you guys already know. And also on dust performance is not the best. It's not terrible, however, but it does slide around a little bit if there is too much dust. Also, it depends on like the floor. You know, for some reason, before I moved at my old gym, I never really had bad performance on dust at my old gym, right? Even though it got dusty, it would bite through dust pretty well. But since I've moved and I've tried some other gyms, when it is dusty, it does slide around a little bit more. It's basically the same as all the other flow outsoles. And then of course, durability, obviously not the best because it's basically just midsole. There's no rubber or anything. And I have played in the, I think it was the Curry 8 on an outdoor court during the pandemic, and it actually held up pretty well for how good I thought it was gonna be, but obviously it's still not gonna be the best option for an outdoor use. So there's a traction there. Moving on to the heel to toe transition, very smooth here in the Spawn Flotro, right? So here in the heel we have a nice rounded shape, and also here in the forefoot we have a nice rounded shape too. So very smooth shape from heel to toe. Feels very nice. And then also we have flows, so it's actually kind of soft, and there's a little bit of compression. So starting off from the heel, it feels soft, and then going into the forefoot, and we have a lot of forefoot flex, which feels extremely nice, right? So I like what they've been doing with their recent Flotros, and or I guess like shoes that have flow. So here in the forefoot, there's a lot of freaking flex, you know. It's really easy to flex as well. It's more just like in the forefoot at the tip of the toe right here, right? Same thing here with the Curry 11. The Curry 1 also has a lot of flex, you know, which feels extremely flexible, feels very soft. But then here for the Curry 4s and a lot of other Flotros, like the Curry 2 low Flotro and the Curry 1, it's a little bit stiffer, you know what I mean? It's still very flexible, but it's a little bit stiffer. I'm putting a little bit more force, so it just feels a little bit different for heel to toe transition. And I've liked what they've been doing with their recent shoes, making the forefoot a little bit more softer. But anyways, yeah, heel to toe transition feels extremely smooth, as it does in usually all Under Armour shoes. They just make a very U shape. With that rocker shape in the forefoot as well, feels really nice. And then moving on to the cushioning setup, we got flow, of course. And it's just flow. So it's not terrible, but it's not great, you know what I mean? Especially since they hype it up a lot. In their tech spec, it says bouncy. They say flow is bouncy, guys, which is weird. Okay, so it is bouncy. Flow is bouncy in the running shoes. You know what I mean? Flow is actually pretty dang nice in the running shoes. It's soft, there's a little bit of rebound back, but then in their hoop shoes, you know, they just make it a little bit more stiff, which obviously it makes sense making a cushioning setup more stiff in a basketball shoe because you want a little bit more responsiveness when you're hooping, right? You don't want it to be too soft or anything, but still, like, I feel like they could just make it normal flow and still be super nice, you know? But anyways, there's a little bit of compression here in the heel. It's pretty nice. It's actually a pretty similar feeling to the Curry 4 Low Flotro. And I feel like both of these shoes, as far as all the flow shoes that I've tried, they have the most amount of compression here in the heel. All the other shoes, especially like even the Curry 11, you know, with this plastic piece, it doesn't allow for a lot of compression, you know? But the 4 Low Flotro and the Spawn Flotro have actually a decent amount of heel compression. It feels kind of soft. And there seems to be a little bit of rebound back too, which is nice. There's also a nice little compression here in the forefoot too. But as far as step and comfort goes, it's not that nice, you know what I mean? So first of all, the insole is just alright. Doesn't improve the step and comfort that much, you know, it's okay, you know? And then underneath that, we have quite a stiff strobo board, which sucks, you know. Step and comfort isn't the best. And honestly, I don't mind the responsive setup. I do like the court feel that Flow usually provides, right? It usually has really good court feel. It has it has okay compression, especially in the heel, and then impact protection is adequate. However, if they just made the strobe board a little bit softer and then maybe made like a core, you know, and made the Flow a little bit softer and gave us a soft mesh strobe board, or even like a cutout, you know what I mean? A cutout in the heel like the Harden Volume 7, the AE1, maybe do that, or just not even a soft mesh strobe board, just make the strobe board a little bit softer, you know, and this would actually be a decent cushioning setup. Hopefully they do that in the future, but I don't know, with all the Flow shoes that have been coming out, they don't do that. So anyways, yeah, it just feels very similar to every other Flow cushioning setup, which there you go, you know? Now moving on to the upper, so they're using a lot of mesh actually and fuse overlays, and just like in the originals. So here in the toe box, we have a lot of mesh, and this mesh is really soft, and it's also kind of stretchy. So as far as the fit goes, here in the toe box, it is kind of snug, but then this mesh, like I said, it is a little bit stretchy. So when I have my foot kind of like just flat, it feels nice and snug, but then I can curl my toes up a little bit, which does feel pretty comfortable. It all depends on what you like. If you don't like that, then obviously you're not gonna like it here in the Spawn Flotros, but it feels pretty nice, you know? It's really thin. It's very good for ventilation as well. There's a lot of airflow. As far as support goes, it doesn't feel super supportive here in the toe box, but I feel like they have all the fuse in place for where you really need support, especially like on the lateral side. So yeah, also here in the tip of the toe, we have some fuse for extra durability and support. And we have some more fuse overlays, and then here as well we have the same mesh material, but we have some underlaying materials. It is glued as well for extra support, so it's not as soft here on the lateral side as it is here in the toe box, which of course makes sense. You don't want it to be super soft here on the lateral side. There's the Under Armour logo here, and then for the tongue we also have a very open mesh. There's a lot of airflow through that. It's actually pretty comfortable, and then on top of the tongue there's a good amount of padding, which makes it very cozy, and it feels a little bit more cozy than all the other low top shoes, you know what I mean? They have been making their tongues kind of cozy, you know, especially comparing to other shoes, but the Spawn Flotro actually has a really nice bit of padding, which feels nice. And also here in the ankle area, we have a good amount of padding as well. So here in the back of the shoe, it feels very well padded, it feels very cozy. But then here in the toe box, like here in the forefoot, midfoot, it's extremely thin, and it feels really nice and minimal as well. I am a little bit worried about support, especially here in the toe box, but like I said, they have the fuse in place in all the good parts for support where you actually need support. So I'm not worried about it too much. And also it's called the anatomics, or it was called the anatomic Spawn. And the fuse is strategically placed so that you have good flex, right? So combining the flexible forefoot with like how much it bends, right? And also like anatomically your foot, it bends obviously right here in the forefoot, right? So they strategically place the fuse material where it actually bends very well to like the shape of your foot, especially when it moves. So that feels really nice here in this upper, and obviously originally in the anatomic Spawn it did that as well. So I really like how they did that. As far as the quality goes, I mean the mesh, it's not the best. I definitely feel like the knit material here in the Curry 4 Low Flotro is way better for quality. Also for durability too, you know what I mean? I don't think this will last a long time, but it does feel very thin and minimal, which I do like. And it's just a different type of feel, you know what I mean? It's just a stretch here, more comfortable type of feel comparing to like all the other shoes like this and also the Curry 11. So there is the upper there. Moving on to the fit. So I went up half a size and it fits me pretty dang well. It fits me almost perfectly, right? And as you guys can see, a lot of Under Armour shoes, they give us more of like a flat shape, which I think is way better for the shape of your foot. You know, just the way your foot is shaped. A lot of Nikes, a lot of Adidas, they're just pointy. You know what I mean? Which is not how your foot is shaped, you know? So I do like the flatter shape here, but it does make it run a little bit short. So that's why I went up half a size, and I feel like most people, you should go up half a size as well. And a lot of their shoes have been a little bit more flat here in the tip of the toe, right? Here in the Curry Flotro, Curry 11. So yeah, go up half a size if you want that. If you want a super snug fit, then go true to size, but just be careful with that. I feel like most people, you should be fine going up half a size, right? And if you have a wide foot, probably go up a full size. But yeah, here in the toe box, like I said, it is quite snug, but it also, this mesh material is kind of stretchy, so when I curl my toes up, it's actually kind of comfortable with that. And also width wise, I would say it's around normal width to slightly narrow, so it's a really nice fitting shoe for me. All right, moving on to the support and lockdown, I feel like it'll be adequate. You know, for lateral containment, you do have the necessary lateral counters, right? So for the flow midsole, we have some peak. So here in the forefoot, we got one. Here in the midfoot, we got one. And also, I guess, kind of like in the heel, but it does come up acting as a sidewall. Basically, forefoot, midfoot, and heel for lateral containment, lateral support, so your foot doesn't slide out of the footbed. However, like I said, this mesh material is just so dang thin, and it doesn't feel super supportive. So I feel like my foot might move around inside of the shoe just a tiny bit. We'll have to see on that. But I feel like my foot's not going to come out of the footbed that much, you know? And then for lateral stability, it should be fine. We have the flow midsole protruding out here in the forefoot, giving us a wide base, right? And you are low to the ground here in the forefoot. And it is a high top. It's a high top shoe. It feels very nice for ankle support as well, right? It does restrict ankle movement a little bit, especially going to the side like this, right? And that's why I like this design, you know what I mean? For example, in the AG4 Soar, that shoe is a high top, literally also here in the heel right here as well, right? But here in this shoe, we have just this part coming up acting as a high top. So we have free movement here in the back of the shoe to do these types of movements, right? This part isn't really going into your Achilles that much, like in the back of your leg. And it moves really well here, but then in the sides, you know, this is what you want to prevent doing, right? Rolling your ankle this way, which this helps with. So ankle support seems good. It does feel laterally stable. We'll just have to see about the overall support of the upper. And now moving on to the weight of the shoe, I feel like, I mean, all flow shoes are extremely light. You know, flow is pretty low density, and also we don't have an outsole. Or I guess we don't have a rubber outsole, so it doesn't add that much weight either. And this mesh material is really thin, so I feel like it'll be like 11 ounces. Oh, 11 ounces on the dot, guys. Let's check the other shoe. 11.1 ounces, right? So the average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. So 11 ounces is extremely light. That's compared to the Curry Flotro. It feels a little bit heavier for some reason. Yeah, 11.4. The Curry 11 is 11.2 ounces, right? So yeah, all of them are extremely light, but it's just weird because this is a high top shoe and it's lighter than the low top shoes, and it probably has to do with the upper. This mesh material, like I said, is extremely thin. So yeah, I mean, it'll probably be very responsive as well. You know, really good traction, low to the ground cushioning setup, responsive cushioning setup. We'll just have to see. Hopefully, you know, my foot doesn't move around too much inside of the shoe, but that's really the only thing I'm worried about, right? And now moving on to the aesthetics, I like it. It reminds me of the original Anatomic Spawns, but I do like how the original Anatomic Spawns look a little bit better. And yeah, as far as Flotros go, I mean, I guess I like Flotro kind of, but not really. I wish they would just retro the shoe, you know what I mean? That's just me, but honestly, I do like how this shoe looks, and also I really like this colorway, and I also really like the gradient here on the midsole as well. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, yeah, it feels literally very similar to every other shoe that has flow. And you know, the traction and cushion, it feels really similar, of course, and the upper is the thing that's different, you know. And yeah, it just has a different feel. Of course, it is a high top. If you like high tops, if you like that feel, this will be better for you. And this is also one of the thinnest, most minimal feeling uppers I felt from, like, you know, Under Armour with Flotros. I mean, not to say like these are thick or anything at all. These are still extremely minimal, but it just takes it to another level with the Spawn Flotros, right? But yeah, I mean, this will probably be a very good performer, just like all the other Flotros, you know? So there's that. So that about concludes my first impressions look on the Under Armour Curry Spawn Flotro. Again, if you guys do want to call, I'll try to leave the link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.